Hi, everyone. My name is Flavia, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Fleet. I run a startup, so the journey I'm going to describe in the next 30 minutes is a very peculiar journey in IoT. When you run a startup, you have to go fast. And IoT is not fast. It's a very slow-moving beast. But let me show you what we have done in 2018, our deployment and our achievements. It was a big year. The reason why I started this a couple of years ago, it's in the frame of IoT, is this. Everything we do is for heavy industries. It's not really smart cities. It's the big change that is happening in industrial IoT in heavy industry. You know, what I'm passionate about is the change that happens when there is an industrial revolution so big that can change mining and oil and gas and agri-tech and logistics and transport. And what we are seeing here is the struggle that we also have to change from smart cities, right? Smart cities are a big change. Wait till you work in heavy smart industries. Heavy smart industry are really a complex exercise. But that's what I decided to do together with my team in the past couple of years. So how can we change this? And when I talk about smart industry, I talk about heavy mining. I talk about, of course, agri-tech, that most of us understand. You know, I talk about oil and gas companies and how they're transforming their digital analysis of data. I talk about big electric schemes of hydroelectric platforms. I talk about logistics. I talk about very complex exercises of industry that have been operating like this for many years, and now they are changing the way they operate it because it's not that they want to do IoT. Is that their operation is very complex. And up to now, there were no technologies that allowed them to deploy 10,000 sensors in a field. You've seen this probably if you saw the Lacuna presentation this morning. Most of our clients and customers do not have 3G. In cities, we are very spoiled. Fleet is based in Australia, and 95% of the continent has got no connectivity. So a lot of industry I mentioned, they have no 3G. So how do you actually do a digital transformation when there is nothing to connect to? And the problem that we are seeing, when I started Fleet, I think I spent a couple of years with a customer trying to understand really the problem. And you could see that they have a lot of problem of patchy internet. We heard this in the AWS talk. Satellites are up there, but they're super expensive. So in industry, people connect sensors. They spend probably $800 a month to connect one. If you enter any heavy industry, any CEO will tell you, I want to connect 10,000 things, but I just can't. So a lot of the sensors are wired. Wi-Fi is complex because it's short range, battery life, we know all this. And there is the problem of low pan. So low pan needs 3G as a backhaul. So what do you do when there is no 3G? So it kind of says, OK, there is no solution there. And this is how fleet journey started. And the idea on nanosatellite to have a very low, very low cost backhaul. But important things is that can we create private networks or LoRa in industry using satellites? If you go to any oil and gas company, any mining company, no one wants a public network. They want their own LoRa private network. And this is a reality because it's heavy industry data. So how can you create this? There is you all know LoRa very well. There is a key technology of LoRa that is the edge. Now, there is a network server, is in the cloud, so we live for the cloud. LoRa gateways talk to the cloud constantly. And now you try to put a satellite in the middle. It just doesn't work this way. So Fleet decided to create, as you do, a global constellation of hundreds of nanosatellites. That sounds like a crazy activity, but it's not. There are a couple of very big operators that got something like 300 or more nanosatellites in the sky already, deployed in 5 to 6 years. It's not science fiction. It's really a great opportunity for the world. These are very, very small satellites. I've been lucky to work on them for the past 11 years, and I love the technology. It's fantastic. But the key, when we actually decided to build this network of satellites that are launched in space, as you saw in the video, like absolutely normal rocket, is can we build a gateway that has got a normal LoRa gateway and a satellite modem in one product that is plug and play and plug and forget that can achieve this? Connect 1,000 people, in 1,000 things, in a very, very, very big mining company, in a private network, to the sky. And it's not a technology issue. Yeah, there are some technologies. It's a price issue. How can you allow the business model to just happen? It was a big challenge. Nanosatellites are an amazing revolution. They are fantastic. So we built ours in the US. We have launched last 4 years. That was not my first nanosatellites. They travel the world. They're amazing technologies. Thomas and Lacuna tried to explain to us how they work. But for me, the big things was this. So probably you have been hearing about edge computing all day, and you wonder what it means. In our world, it means something else. I spent 1.5 years to understand how to bring LoRa into very, very heavy industries. I took a LoRa sensor and tried to make it speak to the sky, to the satellites. I tried to get a normal LoRa gateway and have LoRa data to speak through satellites. I use Iridium, Inmarsat, every satellite company in the world. We have done everything that we could do, and nothing worked. Not in terms of technology, but in terms of what people are willing to pay for it. A technology that allows them to deploy thousands and thousands of sensors. There is no way that that was a business model that was scalable. Every single LoRa gateway in the architecture that you probably know has got the issues that, you're a sensors in the middle of nowhere, you talk to a LoRa gateway, and then this data has to be managed in a network server in the cloud. When you go a LEO satellite, that is low Earth orbit, this is not real time. How do you talk to the cloud? Handshaking, chitty-chatty is absolutely complicated with the satellite. It just cannot work. So we are hosted by an amazing organization that created literally a network server in the cloud. But that didn't work, it doesn't work, in industries complicated. So we had to break it. And we brought the entire network on edge. So the entire network server, the entire app server, we had to move it on edge. It's very technical, it's very complicated. And it's one of Fleet's main technology and main IP that kind of made this possible for remote big industries. So you got 1,000 solar motion sensor. And before you send to satellites, all the network management is in a little box on edge. And you also have an app server that can tell you everything you need to know before the data is sent to the cloud. Last year, I spoke in front of probably, I don't know, 30,000 people at an Amazon conference. There were three speakers that were talking about the cloud and how amazing is the cloud and all about people connectivity. And then Amazon is going, you saw green grass. I don't know how many of you understood green grass in the deep core. But I think that's the most amazing thing that I've seen in the past 10 hours here. My talk there was about IoT, industrial IoT is all about edge. You cannot send data through satellites. So there is a heavy, heavy tech that Fleet deployed. It kind of worked. It worked really well. You have to bear in mind that when you run a startup like this, you really have a short period of time to understand what works in the market. We wanted to leverage us, so an enormous ecosystem, but how to convince a mining company, oil and gas companies, heavy industry, heavy devices to make it happen. But we did it. And I want to tell you some of the stories. Because at the end of the day, in my world, in all our IoT world, customers and deployments speak louder than tech. You see here, you saw it in the video as well, this is the Great Barrier Reef. It's an amazing place in Australia where we are. I visited the Great Barrier Reef when I was it August last year? Beautiful place. My kids loved it. The Great Barrier Reef has got a little issue. The corals are bleaching. So you got an app, you can take a photo, you can send a photo in 3G, and they act on the areas. There's a lot of data, blah, blah, blah. Except there is no 3G. So they created a system to help this amazing place in which you take a photo, and they get the information after 2 weeks, and they cannot do anything with it. So we deployed buoys, and it was fantastic deployment that we have done there to measure the water quality, the water temperature. This is, Great Barrier Reef is as big as half of the Netherlands. It's huge. And the problems that you can solve talking to the skies are amazing. We have a lot of one big customers. They are quite incredible that they are trying in many, many countries. Not they are trying, they are doing it. In many countries in Africa to literally measure position and health of all the animals in every reserve in Africa. That is kind of a normal application, except we are doing it. And this is what I love about this, that we have been there. We are doing it since 1 year. And when you actually are in remote areas, it's not like deploying an IoT application in your house. This has to be drama-proven, because there are runners involved as well, so it's quite complicated. One of Fleet investor that completely opened up my life understanding about IoT at the very beginning of this journey is a company that's got they got the biggest contract in Australia to measure trees growth, deforestation. They measured something like 300,000 trees in a continent that is double Europe. For millions and millions of dollars, it's unbelievable the way they operate. They go in the middle of nowhere with a caliper and a pen that we're used to, just to measure once a month how 3,000 trees were growing. I mean, you can put a sensor, and there you go. So this is a huge application in environmental world that is still grasp it. It completely changed our company culture and what they're actually doing with it. Australia, very similar problem to South America, is something that makes me laugh when I'm Italian, so I understand how Europe is molded. But we were talking with a farm in France, and they told us, so why do you need to talk to the sky? Because our cows are next to the farm. Except in Australia, we heard cows with helicopters. It's a freaking huge continent. So when you actually have farms, so our deployments, people put tags on 10,000 cows. It's huge. And the problems are all, I don't know, you have seen probably some tags here, because there are a lot of tags around the world. And problems are different. In Australia, you need to make sure that they work all very well. In South America, you need to make sure that you got a GPS because they steal it. Long story short, these things are happening at a very large scale. Some of our applications actually got LoRa sensors that go inside the stomach of the cows for live export to actually understand the stress of the animals. These are massive deployments. We have, this is a photo of one of our partners, Terralidi, probably they are here in the audience. What soil moisture sensors are doing at large scale is absolutely fascinating. There are 4 or 5 companies around the world that are really doing well. Realistically, agri-tech, I mean, customers are desperate for a solution, but customers are not PhD. I mean, a farmer doesn't have a rocket science PhD. So when you have to deploy 500 of these things, they have to work. The farm in Australia, I mean, 3 of the farms in South Australia, they are as big as Belgium. These people have got each 10,000 pieces of animal. They want to deploy something like, got 200 water stations, 100 water tanks. These are massive deployments. So imagine if you actually send all this data through satellites, how much it will cost you. You cannot spend $800 for a probe that costs you $40. So we have changed this with the product that we have, and these are all the things that we are deploying. But it gets interesting. Like this is a winery, and I'm Italian, I love wine, so there is a lot going on in the winery industry. Where our fleet is based in Adelaide, that has got 2 of the most amazing wine areas in Australia, Barossa Valley and McLaren Vale, and they are deploying these things. The most important things that needs to be measured is the water content of the leaves. And these farms, sometimes I don't see the 3G tower, so they're going through space. So there are a lot of sensors. Bosch is got one, but we know a lot, in which you literally, for every vine, you measure the water content. This is 10,000 sensors in a deployment like that. Very, very massive deployments that we handled. This is one of my favorite company called Hostaby. You probably know it. Hostaby found a sensor that we really do love. It's a little sensor that goes inside the beehives and measure, beehives is a complicated exercise. There are remote areas. You have to hope at the bee vines to get the honey out. You kill the bees. It's a very massive logistic. California's got like 8,000 of this. So Hostaby is doing some massive deployments. And it's not like the comedian that just joked 2 hours ago that made me laugh about, hey, probably we connect 500 portals, probably we connect 10,000. So this is like 80,000 sensors deployment, stuff like that. Industrial IoT is an heavy exercise that is happening. It's pretty cool stuff. This one, that is one of the most complicated deployments that we did, is the biggest hydroelectric dam in Australia. It gives water to the entire Australia. So there are 2,000 similar things in the US. It's a massive dam. It's got 150 kilometers of pipes. And they have no 3G. When they reached us, they say, hey, we got 100 of employees that goes every day in the middle of the dam to open pipes and check with their hands if there are leakages. We brought one of our partners, Water Group, probably you know it. And now they are deploying all automatic valve system. This is a company that's been going on for 100 years. They got billions of revenue. But now they're moving to IoT, heavy IoT. When we visited Norway, and my head of business is already laughing, this was one of the most dangerous places we've ever seen. I cannot even believe that people were actually visiting it. There were snakes. There were everything. It was really complicated. So actually create an environment in which you don't have to access, it's necessary. There's big pipelines going through Australia and America from one side to the other side of cities to bring gas, things like that. There's one gigantic one from Adelaide to Melbourne. This is heavy, and it just blew my mind the way they do things. It's something like 500 kilometers of pipes, and they check the pipe quality using a helicopter, private helicopter, every day going up and down. Since 75 years. This is something you can solve with some sensors, so this is what we are doing, what we have done. There is one of our customers in mining company that is also a very fantastic story. So Kennars are the biggest rental equipment for mining company. It's kind of United Rentals in US. They've got 100,000 pieces of equipment that people rent every week. It's huge deployments. But they kind of lose track of things when they're out there. And they want to change the way they charge their customers. So it's a digital transformation inside a company that's been going on for 80 years. And now we brought another partner called Digital Matter, really good company doing LoRa GPS tracker. And they're keeping, it's massive. It's really big. We could have not done that since probably middle of last year. Fleet decided to create an industrial IoT LoRa family that is growing every week massively, in which we decided to bring on board the devices that for us were more stable to be an industrial environment. The system integrators that were more expert in industrial environment. The software that were more capable to solve industrial companies' issues. We brought all together, otherwise we would have not made all these deployments in 1 year. We kind of tap inside the LoRa Lyons, but that's heavy industrial LoRa, little LoRa family. And yeah, it's growing, and it's pretty awesome. But it's time for LoRa to get out of city. It's time for LoRa to take over the world, and this is what we are doing. And we have launched 4 satellites last year. We are lucky enough, or maybe unlucky enough, to be a company that's got big VC behind us. You to judge if you're lucky or unlucky. My life is pretty complicated. But we have a chance, as advocate of industrial IoT, to actually help the community and support the community. So something that we have decided to do when the satellites went up, is to start a program that I'm announcing now, and most of my partners and our partners already know about it, and they are jumping on board. And let me show you. So we decided to put in place Project Galaxy and do it for the LoRa community, for you guys. And the idea is that it's time. Industrial IoT is happening and can give all of you the chance to deploy hundreds and thousands of sensors and solutions now. This is private network in which people take a phone call to decide. It's not a system of a system like in the city. And we need you guys. And probably you guys need us. So as part of the satellites and the constellation that we are building, we have started this program to give the chance to connect the first million things with a very low price. This is global coverage of $2 per year per device. This is in industrial IoT. You don't even find this on 3G. And we can do this because our networks allow us to do that. So we have launched this program in the partners. People are subscribing for 100,000 sensors. Because when you actually spend $2 per year, the connectivity is not an issue anymore. It's gone. People can connect hundreds of things. And that's what is kind of holding back IoT. They connect 3 things, 4 things, 10 things. Oh, we got lucky. They connect 20. Our deployment, they connect 1,000. So we decided with the team to announce Galaxy to you, all of you now. This is global coverage, $2 per year everywhere you are, industrial IoT for the next years. And our satellites are there, ready to go. You just have to reserve. It's going fast. There is nothing out there. And our idea is that it's our responsibility as operators to make sure that this part of the LoRa community starts thriving. The opportunity in industrial IoT in remote areas is huge. And you don't have to wait 2 years to make it happen. And we will help the best application to scale up very, very fast, because we are doing this. So if you go to the website, you can reserve. And you can talk with me, and Max is there, and Matt is there, so my team is here. It gives you the chance to think big. And it gives us the chance to put you guys in touch with all our customers. Because our customers are requiring so many solutions that we don't even know what hats we have to bring them out. And we want the connectivity to disappear in your problem, in your mind, has to disappear. I want you guys to worry about how I'm going to manufacture 100,000 sensors to give to fleet customers in 3 months. Well, I hope you guys can help us, and I hope I can help you. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Flavia Tata Nardini. Any questions to Flavia now? We had Thomas Telkom before here on stage with Lacuna.
Yep.
Also put up a couple of satellites to connect LoRaWAN. To put bluntly, are you guys competitors, or do you collaborate on?
The reality is that really depends on the application. So what Lacuna does is the connectivity to the sky, right? So you got a sensors that connect to the sky. We tried this. I mean, the problem that we have that our customers require more sensors. So it's not connecting 10,000 things scattered in Europe. It's connecting 10,000 things in 15 kilometers. So it becomes a really big issue to talk directly to the sky for all the sensors. And it's an enormous amount of data. So we kind of listened to the community. When we started this journey, what I've realized is that a lot of people say, we need a little data. We don't need much. We need 5 bytes a day. So we started the journey saying, we can give you 1 kilobytes a month. That is nothing. No one needs so little data, trust me. When you run a massive IoT deployment of 6 months, you need more data, way more data. You got your algorithm running, your forecasting, so much, so much. So in the Galaxy program, we pumped out the amount of data like 100 times more. We had to do this. When you actually get out of the POC and you go out in the real world, people need data to make it happen. So we think that Lacuna solution will really work well when you have few sensors. But when you have massive industry-heavy deployments, you will have to go edge. You will have to go edge, and we'll have to use solutions like that. Otherwise, you suffer.
OK, just to get it clear, because you showed a lot of use cases. Are these potential use cases or already deployed?
Oh, yeah, these are in the field.
In the field, OK.
Yeah. We don't sleep much.
Oh, yeah, because they look so beautiful.
Yeah, it looks so beautiful.
Anybody else? A question or a suggestion for Flavia? Any theories, comments, anything you would like to ask? Oh, yes, there in the back. I'll come to you. Why do you sit so way in the back? Yeah, over there. Hello.
Hi. Thank you for the presentation. Just a quick question. How much data do you get per day for $2 per year?
Per day. So this is 500 kilo a month. So per day, divided 30.
30 bytes per day?
30 days. No. It's 500 kilobytes a month.
For one device?
Yeah, for one device.
OK. Thank you very much.
OK, that was a simple question. Any other questions?
I mean, most of the sensors we have seen are around 300. They require a lot more data than what you expect. But 500 is a little bit more. Let's give you guys more data.
We have a question over here in the front. Hello.
Hello. Thank you. What about the delay between the measurement and the data arrives in the cloud?
So it really depends how many satellites you have. So these satellites go in LEO. So Fleet last year made partnership with the biggest satellite company in the world. So we actually can offer, if you need real time, you need real time. If you need real time, we'll use geo satellites, and we'll give you the best you can have. If you want to spend a little bit more, we use our satellites. You can see them every 4 hours. So it really depends on the application. So 90% of the application, people are fine to look at the satellites every 4 hours and get the data. When you go into safety of people, you cannot wait. When you go into valves that you need to switch on and off in big deployments, you cannot wait. So last year, we have done something super interesting that we also made massive partnership with what we call the geo operators, so the one that got real time. My idea is that you are my customers. Tell me what you want to measure, and I'll give you the best. You know, I'll connect you to a satellite in real time. I'll connect you to my satellites, as long as you got everything you want. So we got a quite complete solutions there. We must.
Yes. OK, well, that's it. Thank you very much. A very warm applause.
Thank you.